Hello everyone, myself Amit Kumar, Assistant Professor, Computer Science Department, Agile Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So today's topic is Agile software development. As you know that when a team work on a project, so team manager want a systematic approach for development that is known as software development. But today's demand is how to tackle a rapid change by the client side, how we can adopt it easily. Then a new type of a software development model arise that is known as Agile software development is come under consideration. So today's topic, Agile software development. So the outline of this topic is what is meant by software development. At first we understand what is software development, then what is Agile software development and why is so important. Then the 4 values of the software Agile software development and 12 principles of Agile software development. Then Agile software development process, and then after we understand development cycle that is considered in Agile methodology, then we take some example of the Agile framework and advantages and disadvantages. So at first we understand software development. So software development is a process of collect the requirement, design it, create by the code, validate by the different type of a testing, and deliver it to the client, and if any maintenance are required, then done under the maintenance phase. So software development is a process used to create software for programming, maintaining code, and these are the phases. These are known as phases. We earlier discussed about this SDLC model, where we have a number of phases. So just like planning and requirement analysis, defining requirement, designing the software, developing the project, testing, deployment and maintenance. One by one we can elaborate it. When we develop a software, at first we collect all the information from the client side. We check all the requirement is correct or not. We also check the feasibility study here, then design it and develop a project according to the client requirement. After coding, we test it is correct or not. Correct or not, that means all the functionality are work accordingly. Then deploy to the that we can say that user can use it, and if a client required any maintenance, then ask to the development team. So here software development is a systematic approach here. Systematic approach, that means at first we collect the requirement, check the feasibility study, plan accordingly, and check all the requirement is correct or not, and how we can fulfill the objective of the client. Then we design, that means architectural design, DFD, data flow diagrams, ER diagrams, entity relationship diagrams. Then we create a design, we complete all the design aspect, and then we create with the help of code, we can develop a project. After developing the project, we can test it. Test it, that means we can test all the functionality or work accordingly, work properly according to the requirement, and they meet the objective of the client. Then deployment. After the deployment, if client are needed any maintenance, then we can maintain the project. So these are the simple phases, and these are known as SDLC models. So we have a number of SDLC model. The one by one when we can understand waterfall model, V model, prototype model, incremental model, iterative model, spiral model, RAID model, and Agile model. So waterfall model, that means all the phases, that is so when we complete a phase 1, then we come into the next, and when we cannot come back to the previous phases. So that is waterfall model. The limitation of the waterfall model is we cannot come back to the previous phase. So if any change come by the client side, how the project manager is alter in this waterfall model, because of completing this phase, and when we reach in the next phase, we cannot go to the previous phase. So here today's topic is Agile model. So it is a rapid adaptive model that is based on the iterative process. So we understand what is a Agile model. Agile software development refers to the group of software development methodologies based on iterative development. Iterative development, that means we work on a single phase, complete it, test it, and find the feedback from the client side. If any updation, any changes from the client side, then we solve it. So it promotes the adaptive planning, evolutionary development, early delivery, and implemental, continual implemental, and encourage to rapid, flexible respond to the change. Today's era in software development, client change his or her product very rapidly. So we cannot use the traditional model such as waterfall model. So we must be adopt as a iterative process model. That is one of the example is Agile model. So meaning of the Agile is swift, versatile, and in swift versatile is based on iterative development. That means we divided into the small chunks or milestones, and the whole project are divided into the segments, and we one by one we can complete it and test and validate by the client side, or we collect the feedback of the each module. So very clear plans regarding the number of iterations, the duration and the scope of each iteration are clearly defined in advance. So the project scope requirement are let to down the beginning of the development process. So with the help of Agile model, we can deliver our project within a time frame, as well as in between that duration, any changes want to alter by the client side, Agile model do that. So why we can adopt it? Why it is important? The first one is tangible value, creating tangible values. Why? Because of priority on creating tangible value as soon as possible in the project. So customer benefit, our priority is a customer satisfaction. So we here tangible, creating a priority on a tangible. The second one is concentrate value added work. Because of we concentrate on the work methodology, we concentrate about the problem solving method, we cannot give a time to the more documentation. So hence reducing the amount of time and energy allocate non-essential tasks. So we focus on the only functional of the problem solving environment. Agile mindset. So mindset is a represent the shift in culture that value adaptability, collaboration and client happiness. Collaboration, that means when one phase is completed, then we call a meeting with the client, and manager and client set the feedback of the completed part, and that is a mindset of the Agile. Because of client satisfaction is our priorities. So members authority, team members or more authority are promoted the cooperative model here. The next one is quick response to change. It's very important here. Quick response to change, because of this time a culture that client changes within a days because of rapid change environment. So we adopt it. Quickly response to change, allow to team to respond swiftly to constantly shifting priorities of the requirement. This adaptability is particularly useful to the sector of economy or technology that can be experienced fast change. So as we can experience the technology change very fast, so we can adopt it. Regular demonstration, that means when we complete a phase, we go to the client, we set the meeting and give the demo to the client, and or we can do the some testers also, and that can be test and then give the feedback for the, we can test to all the stakeholders also. So Agile technique place shortly emphasis on regular demonstration to project process. If this part is completed in this time and all the stakeholders are easily see the process of the project. Then cross-functional teams, self-organizing cross-functional team that are share information, communicate more effectively and feel more like a unit. Because here cross-functional team work as a team. All stakeholders are work as a team because of each satisfaction are required here. So phases of the Agile model, we can say that there were no changes as SDLC phases. We set the requirement gathering at first, then design it, then construct it, then testing quality assurance, deploy it, and find the feedback from the client side. So with the help of this figure, this part is brainstorm. Because of manager set a meeting, and after the discussion find a requirement, and these requirement is analyzed by the stakeholders. Then we go to the design pattern as well as documentation and prototype both. So this prototype is checked by the client, and when client is satisfied the prototype design, then we go to the development phase. Development phase, iteration, demo and feedback process. So this one is shows that here when we involve in a coding, iteration process is there and feedback process is involved here, feedback from the client side, so that if any changes, any updations are required by the client, we can alter it accordingly. And then we shift to the quality Quality assurance is nothing that is a test vault here. Test vault, that means we test or validate all the functionality meet the client requirement or not, then we deploy the project. And after deployment, if client is required any maintenance, then we can maintain our project. So this is a phases of Agile model. So Agile model is based on 4 principles and 4 core values and 12 principles. So core values, that means we set a 4 core values and 12 principles where our Agile software development model is based. The first one is individual and interaction. Individual interaction over what? Over processes and tools. So we avoid processes and tools in compared to the individual and interaction. So we apply the client and interactions. That means we focuses more meetings. Working software, working environment here, not more documentation. So over the comprehensive documentation, we focus the working environment. Working environment, that means we focus on the problem solving environment. In our traditional waterfall model or any model, we focus the documentation also. Customer collaboration. So customer collaboration in over the negotiation, contacts and negotiation. So we cannot involve in this part. We focus the customer collaboration. Responding to change, rapid change are there, so we adopt it. Over following a plan. So following a plan and rather than corresponding to the change. So we adopt it. If client are required some changes, then we go to the project. And the 12 principles. 12 principles, the first one is customer satisfaction, our priority first. Changing document, changing requirement. If any requirement come during the project development, we can adopt it. Frequently delivery, our third priority. Communicate regularity, regular communication, more meetings, more demos, more we can say that more communication between the client and management team. Support team members, the fifth is support team member. Face-to-face communication. Face-to-face communication is very important because of if any requirement is come under the come in consideration, we can solve it face-to-face communication. Measuring the work process. Measuring the work process, that means we have a number of process as a CPM, PERT, Gantt chart. So number of this management process, we can measure our process. And development process is a 8 principles. Good design. In design aspect, the design UI and UX design is very interactive because of user need. The time is need to interact with the system because of we have a touch screens also. Some software companies are develop such type of software that is run by the finger on the laptop as well as our mobile phones. So designs are very important and crucial here. Then measuring the process is again and continuous seeking result. So this type of a process is come out and the objective meet or not. So result is measured here. And reflect the regularity, adjust the regularity. So we set the mindset that is within a time frame our work is completed or not. So one by one we can elaborate it. Customer satisfaction are the first priority. Early and continuous delivery to the valuable software as client required. So we can say that the quality wise product we can deliver. Welcome changing requirement even in late development. We can say that any changes come during the development phase, we adopt it because of this is a need of the time. delivery working software frequently. So Agile's objective is to deliver our project within a very less time. Daily correspondence between the business people and developers, that means client and managers. Business people, that means all the stakeholders involved in a daily meeting. Because of any type of problem arise during the development phase, development team can be solve it. Project are built around motivated individuals who should be trusted. So trust is very important here because of less documentation. So in traditional method, we have a long documentation with the dual sign, but here the limitation of the documentation, so we generate the trust only. Face-to-face conversation is very important. The best communication. So we can say that when we sit in a table and solve any problem, suppose that during the development phase come any type of a problem, so how we can solve it? We can solve with a face-to-face communication. So this part is give the quality wise product. Working software in primary measure process. The process measuring is a work of the project manager. Therefore, it's a responsibility to measure the process, it's within the time frame or not. Sustainable development is very important nowadays because of this type of a software development are not have a very business approach that are not sustainable. So develop a such type of a software that are known that is considered as a sustainable development, able to maintain constant pace. Continuous attention to the technical excellence is very important. Nowadays, rapid change in technical, or we can say that the technical things are change very easily. Nowadays, frequently change. So, continuous attention here. We watch very careful because of during the development phase, maybe some technology arise and over to your project. So continuous attention to the technical excellence, and only not the technologies, but as well as design aspect. Simplicity is very important because of art of maximize the amount of work not done. So simplicity is required here. Best architecture requirement. Design immerse the sum, we can say that all the requirement we collect and set a design architecture. So design architecture is very simple, that meet all the functional requirement as the client desired. So we set a such type of a architecture that is very simple and meet all the objectives. Regularly, the meaning of regularly here, that means become more effective and adjust accordingly. What the reflection, how to become more effectively. So if we conduct or we can conduct a meeting as well as we check whole process by the team manager regularly, we can complete our project within a time frame as well as quality wise. So these are the 12 principles. So this one is development process. We earlier discussed the first planning, development, testing, maintenance, deployment, requirement gathering, then planning, then development, then testing, then maintenance, and then deployment. So one by one here requirement gathering, second planning, the third one is development, fourth one is testing, fifth one is maintenance, sixth one is deployment. So see here planning and design process. So after the designing we can develop. So this one is a process here. How we can say that which type of a cycle we adopt. So Agile model is a very rapid and flexible software development. So, the development cycle is meet. This one is a meeting between the businessmen pupils. Businessmen pupils, that means client as well as managers. Managers, that means team managers or a development team or a product manager. Then after the meeting, a result is come out, and this result is plan, is known as plan. Its plan is sketched as a design. This one is the architectural design, and procedural design, DFDs, EI diagram, flowchart. Then after the design, we develop it with the help of code. So, programmer develop the code according to the architecture. When the project is completed here, we test it, validate it. Number of testings methodologies are available: unit testing, integration testing, alpha testing, beta testing, integration testing, system testing. So, we have a number of testing and we test accordingly. Our project are meet the client objective or not, then evaluate it. So, this one is a cycle. Because of each phase, we complete it, then test it, evaluate it, and find a feedback. Evaluate, that means feedback. Feedback from the client side. After then we go to the next phase, plan it, design it, develop it, test and find the feedback. Then we go to the next phase. So, this one is a cycle of a Agile software development. So, we can say that the Agile framework, with Agile, we here the first one is Serum, we discuss in a few only. The second one is Lean, and the third one is Kanban. So, these three are the Agile framework that are work. The software development team want to work very efficiently in these three frameworks, and the advantage and disadvantages. So, advantages is frequently delivery of the project. They are very important because of each and every client want to a project is completed within a given time. Face to face communication with the client, because of if more meetings are involved in this development process, that means client are known each and everything. Efficient design and fulfill business requirement. Because of rapid change, our goals are altered within a days. So, if this software development, that means Agile software development adopt is, so this one is very efficient according to the business processes. Anytime change are acceptable by the team, it reduced total development time. We can say that the frequently delivery, that means reduce the development time. And disadvantages. Disadvantages, that means we earlier discussed that here less documentation. We focus on the problem solving approach more. So, in less documentation, there may be a problem in sense of documentation. Because of less documentation, that means may be a problem here. So, less documentation due to the shortage of formal documentation, it creates confusion only. Confusion because of we cannot write down it. Documentation are not considered in Agile. So, maybe a confusion is there. So, crucial decision take throughout various phase can be misinterpreted. So, maybe this confusion creates a problem here. The more disadvantages of Agile software development. So, proper documentation is a limitation of this software development model. So, as industry need. Nowadays, more and more developers used agile software development because of its frequently delivery model, as well as quality wise product delivery, as well as more considering client satisfaction. So, it's a very important to understand each step of the agile software development. Thanks a lot.